my lovely people. Welcome to the Unscathed Live podcast. Today is an amazing day because I have someone with me that I have been dying. Hear this, dying to interview because she is so inspirational now. And you will find out, yes, you are. You'll find out as you listen to today's episode just how, amazing and epic she is. But first, let me introduce her. Her name is Caroline Popoola, and she's a columnist, she's a speaker, she is the CEO of Alpha Childcare Limited, a leading childcare provider within the UK. She currently runs over, hear this, not one, not two, not three, but 13 childcare settings in the UK. And she leads an extraordinary team of 75 strong childcare experts and helps over 500 children a day. Caroline is all round fabulous. She's an entrepreneur. She's a visionary. She's just so many things. She's a graduate of the side business school as well, and you will find just how inspirational. Every time I say inspirational on this episode, I really do mean it. Like you just find out just how inspirational she is. So thank you so much for coming on the show, Caroline. It's brilliant to have you.
Thank you for having me. This is me thinking I've got energy. You're like, you've got it bucket load, isn't it? You've got it bucket load. Like,
I do. When I'm super excited, this is how I sound, and I'm just so excited.
Let's just hope your audience will be able to cope with the pair of us.
Let us give them a show. It's going to be amazing. Caroline, I am just thrilled to have you here with me. Thank you so much for coming on and just being, available to bless my listeners. Thank you.
I'm laughing. Thank you so much for having me. I said if you hadn't called me, I'm like, oh yeah. I'd be like, because I've just got so much on, and my head is like everywhere, So, but no, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here. I love. I watch everything you do, and obviously I appreciate when people are doing so good, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And it's like I feel like I've known you forever.
I know.
I've known you forever, So, but no. Thank you so much for having me. And I pray that even the things we're going to share will be a blessing to, even if it's one person. And I think that's one thing we're taking away from FD is like, even if it's one person that is blessed as a result of the things we say, that's it. Your job is done. And that's basically it. So it's not even a matter of how many people. It's like, if one person can be touched and change their life, that's all it's about.
That's all about. You see, we can even close the podcast just right now. We can just say it is the end, and you would have still been blessed.
Let's not do that.
Let's not do that. Let's give them more. But amazing. Thank you so much. So, Caroline, let's just tell me, who are you? I've read this phenomenal bio. I always like to ask my guests, who are you? I want to hear it in your own words. Who is Caroline? What have I missed off? Tell us.
I'm laughing because I think when you say who are you, I think for me it's more along the lines of when the Bible says, who am I that you're so mindful of? That's what comes to mind all the time, because if I think about the start of my life and I think about where I am now, to God be all the glory, I just could never imagine it. I mean, it's not said, it's not written. It's not written. You can't write it. You can't write the story of like that girl that lived, that was abused or this and that, and the same girl has now become this, and she doesn't even look at herself as a victim. She's a victor regardless of what you say. I don't care. It really doesn't. I am not moved. I am not bothered. I am comfortable in who I am, in my skin. I am very, very comfortable. I don't care if I'm childlike or adult-like, or if my language suits you or it doesn't. I am not fast. And like I said at the beginning, is whose life have you touched?
Mm.
As a result of you, this
Mm.
happened to me. And that's all I care about. Everything else
Mm.
is secondary, pointless. It really is pointless.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I
And like
love
I
it.
was saying at the beginning, before we even start this, it's that thing of that's why it's so important as parents. You don't knock your children. Do not knock your
Mm.
children because you don't know where that aggressiveness, that anger, that you don't know where that's gonna go. And I used to be such an angry child. I mean,
Wow.
my mom tried her best. So obviously, I grew up in a single parent home where
Mm.
I was born, like so many of us, in the UK and went back to Nigeria at the age of 7 and
Okay.
came back at the age of 17. I was born in Hammersmith. But I think for my mom and dad, and I only found out just before I got married that they were never married, you know? And so to me, it was more like, and the whole upbringing, the naming and all that, which I was told about, is like, it was more around you're not wanted, you're a girl. What will girls amount to? Girls never amount to anything,
Wow.
because the whole thing in the 70s, like with your parents, like Nigerian parents, like, oh, my firstborn has to be a boy. And because
Mm.
my mom had been married to her childhood lover or
Mm.
whatever, and they had 2 boys. So
Mm.
obviously he then messed up, but they were planning to come to the UK together, and then she just left because he messed up, and then she came on her own. And as I
Mhm.
grew up, met my dad, and one thing led to another, and had me. And obviously he wasn't ready to go back, and she went back again. All of that stuff.
Mm.
And then we met up and all that. And never grew up in a home with. I've never known a man to be there. But
Oh,
for me,
wow.
unless people start to talk about it, I never realized that, oh yeah, you're acting this way because you never had that fatherhood figure there.
Figure.
I never thought it. I knew I was very insecure. I knew I hated being, even though my mom worked hard, she was an entrepreneur, she worked really hard. But I knew I hated growing up because I felt I was one of those children she picked in the bin in the UK and then brought her back to Nigeria.
Wow.
Over so many years, I literally had that in my head. And I just assumed, yeah, I'm one of those children that they picked up in the bin, and she brought me tonight because she can't
That's
love me.
how you.
That's and
That's how you saw yourself.
that stayed in my head for up till before I came back to the UK. Honestly,
And why was it? Things that she was doing? Why did you have that view?
I mean, even though she had the money, she had the influence. I think for me, I felt if we had all that, how could you then expect me to wash my clothes? How could you then expect me to sweep the floor? How could you? I just felt, come on, I should be able to live that life of like, but I didn't realize that's her training me up.
Mm.
Had maids or there, I won't say servants, maids, even though we had maids and helpers there, they wouldn't do anything for me. And I just felt, this is just ridiculous. Yeah, I know you don't love me, you just lie, you just want to be associated with being in the UK, and you have to pick a child up from there. And I was just such an angry child. I was a horrible child, and my sister growing up, I had another sister who is also a half sister. When we got back to Nigeria, my mom hooked up again with somebody else, So, but the one thing she did, which outside of working hard, which we saw and I admired in her and I took from her, is the fact that she never flaunted anyone in front of us. She raised us up as though it was just her and her girls. So there was no intermediary, there was no man there. So even though that was good because it gave you that confidence to say, if she can do it, I can do it.
Okay, you had that example of a hardworking woman who was taking care of herself.
That's it. But at the time, because you're so young, you just never see that as an advantage. Obviously now I look back and think, wow, she's a strong woman. Mom, I love you. You are brilliant. But at the time, I never saw it. I just think, what's wrong with her? How could she be so nasty? How could, and I just never saw, I was just an angry child. I just never saw good in anything. And when you don't have role models like we do now, you know, that could explain this is why this is happening, or you should see the advantage in certain things. You just never saw it, you know. So and it was only coming back to the UK, I then lived that crazy life of like, oh well, no one cares about me anyway, what's the point, you know, why should I be a good girl, and you know, all of that. I just literally just went loose, like literally just went AWOL. I literally went AWOL. Name the party, I'm there. Name the booty shaking, I'm there.
Name the booty shaking, I'm there.
I am just everywhere. Literally, it's like, yeah, you know, I couldn't get off of it on my own. It was just awesome, you know. But and I was arrogant with it. I was literally the whole energy. I had that, you know, and then yeah. So that was literally how I grew up, you know. But coming back on my own, I had to struggle on my own. I had to. I lived in my mom had me staying with some friends who she literally met within weeks of me coming back to the UK. You know, our parents are like, you know, like, I mean, that's the way God has written it, you know, so I have no qualms about it.
Yeah.
But I stayed with them for a little while, and all I did was looked after their children. And
wow. Look at that. You looked after their children.
Didn't go to school, didn't do anything at all, you know. And eventually I just knew I couldn't hack it anymore. I could not deal with it anymore. And then I called my mom, because at the time you can still get your return ticket. So I got a return ticket. They didn't do one way, so I got a return ticket. I said, if she doesn't sort this out, I am coming back to Nigeria. And to her, it's like, oh no, you failed every exam there is to fail. You're an embarrassment, because I hated studying. I hated school. I literally failed every single exam.
Like failed.
So normally, I don't know what it's like now, but normally in those days they have F9, yeah?
Yes, F9.
I think I had all of that. I think the only one thing I had, I can't even remember, something that is not an F9, that doesn't look like an F9, was maybe
P7. It would have been like P8 or P7.
Yeah, one of them. I think it was some crazy stuff that wasn't even exciting. Maybe agriculture or something silly like that, you know. Oh, not even that. I think even that, to get the O's to go to the farm, my hands were cut, and they literally would make me stand out in the sun longer than everybody else, and literally for the little time. So it was awful. I literally hated it, you know.
So your mother sent you abroad in the bid to just get you to
get rid. No, honestly, get rid. Get rid. That was it. Nothing more. To get rid.
Wow.
The one thing I knew I loved so much was her business. Oh my word. She ran you know, when you go to the airport and you have all this chaos. And
yes.
Yeah. She had one of those kiosks. The kiosk, innit? She had one of them where you can have your snacks and stuff.
Yes. While you're waiting for the plane to
So she had one of those, and she was raking it in, like proper raking it in. So this is, in England, it means making money. I'll go back to my root now. It is like proper Southeast girl. It is like, yeah. So she was really making a lot of money, and to me, it's like, oh, nothing beats that money. Oh my word! I could literally. I would spend my day there and give all the money to my friends. Literally, I was well loved. I was well liked. And to me, it's like, yeah, if you can, you know. And I think from there, that's where I realized that you can help people to be better. You know, so people would come to me, oh, Caroline, I need to buy this, or I need to do this with my house. And I mean, I'm talking, I was like 14, 15, 16. So to me, I loved it. Nothing was too hard. I remember at the time, I mean, we lived in Abuja, and Abuja was really small. Like, really, buses were very late. And if she couldn't take me, I would literally put this, like a tray of like the things we're going to take to the airport.
Yes.
On my head, waiting at the bus stop, and all of those things. I used to hold bread when I was younger. I hold bread on the streets of Lagos, you know, in Agege, literally, because she worked.
I don't understand this, because you said at the start that you had maids and you guys were wealthy. So how come you were hawking bread as well?
So mommy was, so when we came back to from the UK, we were in Lagos for like a year or two before we finally moved to Abuja.
Okay.
So at that time, she
Okay.
would work away. She was building her business. So she had like stockfish. She would have bags of stockfish, and they'll come to that. People would literally come to the house and sit on those bags because she
Wow.
had loads, like literally in bulk. So
Wow.
while she's away, she'll say we should stay with neighbors. So our
Oh,
neighbors will make me
wow.
hot bread. As a result, that's why I got abused, sexually and
Wow.
all of those things. But literally, you just think, to me, I didn't think there was anything wrong with it because I didn't know any better.
And how old were you roughly? How old were you roughly?
About 8, 9,
Wow.
10, So, and then when we then moved to Abuja, then her business, and at the time as well, she went to Abuja for a year and left us in a house where neighbors were looked after myself and my sister. So literally all of that's what we had to do. And then eventually when she was set up properly in Abuja, then she came and took us, and then we went to Abuja together.
Okay. By then she was a bit more wealthy, like
stable,
she was stable, a bit more stable.
Yeah, she built a hotel. And then from the hotel, she did the chaos at the airport, and then she was making money. So it was literally, so she did well for herself. She bought lands and properties and all of those things.
She built from the ground up. She built from the ground up.
From the ground up. From the ground up, yeah.
But there was just that relationship between both of you that wasn't quite there. So let's go back to your story. Let's go back to your story. So you call your mom and like, I've got this return ticket. I want to start coming on. What's going on?
And she literally just said, "Oh, you can't do that." I said, "Watch me," literally. I said, and I just told her the ticket is there. I couldn't hack it. I couldn't take it anymore in the house. And then she came. So literally, when she came, we then got someone to break into a flat for me.
Oh, wow.
So this time it's in Peckham. So I used to live in Forest Gate with this family, and then they broke into a flat in Peckham for me, and I moved in with her. And so we weren't paying bills or anything like that. So for a few years, and then she went back after literally a few weeks, and she went back. So I was living on my own.
Wow, like proper squatter.
Proper, real squatter, yeah, real, proper.
Wow.
Proper squatters, yeah. Sumner Road, I could never forget. I mean, obviously the flats are down now because of the damn Lola Taylor thing, when unfortunately that boy was killed and all that. So all the areas, but yeah. So I lived there for a few years.
By yourself?
By myself, yes, in a 2-bedroom flat. And I think the last straw was when when I had cockroaches in the fridge. I don't do creepy crawly, so I can't. Even now it's like I can't do anything. So I mean, literally, that was it. I had this soup in the fridge, and I'm thinking, that's me done. That's it. Packed all my belongings in black bags, and literally went to the council and sat outside the council office and said, "Well, I'm not moving." And again, that crazy, arrogant girl came out. That nasty, came out and. They said, yeah, okay, that's fine. We'll just get you into a hostel. And I moved into a hostel. They literally moved me into a hostel in Liverpool Street.
Oh, wow.
And it's called Providence Row. And I was there for 2 weeks. And what you had to do is so it was like a big room. So you can imagine a hall.
Yes, like a hall.
Yeah. And we had curtains between one bed and the other. It's literally curtains. So you're all in a hall and you had curtains. Literally, that was it.
Yeah.
So, and then you share a bathroom and everything. And from then on, so the only thing you had to do is they had a curfew. You had to be in by 10 o'clock. Yeah. So I adhered to that. And after 2 weeks, it shows you're serious enough and they can move you into a better hostel where you have a bed sit to yourself. So I then moved in after 2 weeks. I mean, I became, again, the whole thing, there's just something about when people gravitate towards you, they just love you. They just, and for, I don't know, whatever the reason was, they literally, again, I just got in and they moved me to another hostel, which was a bed sit. And I was there for a long time. But at the time, I could learn to type. I went to learn to type, all of the things to just better myself. But I never studied. I just couldn't. I couldn't do the education system. I remember once going for an interview in an accounting firm and I couldn't spell. And I've said this so many times, when you have those double words like happiness, HAPP, I
Mm.
your
One P or two P's. Oh, bless.
if it's one S or two S's, and I couldn't tell if secretary is a SE or SA, or I just couldn't. And I wanted to be a typist. I'm thinking, and I literally had all this. I was so low. Like, Caroline, how could you be this person you want to be when you can't even spell? I went for the test. Then I'm sure you know what the answer is. I said, yeah, no, I failed, right? So
I'm sure you know what the answer is.
I think, okay. Well, when you say, I've always had this thing, like when you, and I think it was Richard Branson that said it, that if you go for a job and they ask you, do you know how to do it? Say yes, and then go and learn to do it. Something like that. And that's what I've always done. But then I say yes, and I still don't know how to do it.
I say yes, wise to do it.
I still don't know how to do it. But I've always been like that. I've always been that hungry, been looking for something bigger than me all the time. But now I can articulate it and relate it to. But at the time, I just think, Caroline, why are you always going for something you can't even do? Honestly, even when they say in interviews, I go for interviews that are not in my league at all, and I'll still go for it. And I've always had that drive, but I never knew where it came from. Now I can think, obviously, but at the time I'm thinking, no, that's what I want. I'm going to go for it. And all of the spec says you need this, you need them. Thinking, it doesn't matter. I'll get there. They might just like me. I might just fail. They say, can you write shorthand? Oh yeah, I can write shorthand. Yeah, right. You get them thinking, oh, okay. I guess I failed then. So
what this is telling me about you is there is an undying hope that you have. You are hopeful beyond hope, and that is a really, really important character trait of people who are resilient. So when they fail, they fall down. But because of that hope, they will still keep trying. They will never give up. That their hope will never be diminished. They will never believe. They always, every time the sun rises, they believe it's another day. Like it's another day, it's another opportunity. Whether or not I have changed anything, I don't know. But there will be something good that will come out of this day. That is it. It's hope.
Yeah. I'm still like that. I never see negative. I mean, I talk about it all the time. It doesn't matter. I think it was last week I had the major thing that happened, like that really would affect one of my businesses. And I'm like, literally, I said it on Instagram. I said I wallowed in my pity party all by myself, me, myself, and I. Literally, from the time I heard the news at 8 o'clock in the morning till like 12 o'clock. After that, I'm like, hey, yes, okay, right, Caroline. Next, it's like, okay, so that's happened. What are we gonna do? I'm thinking, get your act together, man. What's wrong with you? Yeah.
Oh wow.
Why are you feeling sorry for yourself? Stop. Literally, I thought to myself, I'm thinking, what's wrong with you? And honestly, that's it.
I love it.
You can have people around me. I very rarely do I have people around me that talk negative anyway. But even if they do, like my manager, bless her heart, she can be so stressed and she wants to express it. And you just see this blank face as like, when you finish, let me know. And it's like she can be and I'm like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it. And so when your response is that way, that would naturally ease the other person's temper down, because it's like, why are you shouting, or why are you getting upset, or why are you getting stressed? Rather than, yeah, I get it, right? It's crazy, and you affirm what they're saying. That negative they're saying, you affirming it. Why are you affirming the negativity? Why are you affirming negativity? They speak negative. You either say, I hear you, or I tell you what, I contradict that negative with a positive affirmation. That's it. So literally, I just don't let that negative. Don't get me wrong. I make it sound like I don't get bothered. I get bothered. Like I've just said, I wallowed in my self-pity, a party with just me, myself, and I for like 4-6 hours. And I'm like, okay, get your act together, girl. Next. What else can you do? And literally, as soon as I made that decision, the ideas of who to call, and literally just one phone call of somebody in the council literally led to somebody else, and she said, "Oh, I can't help you, but I'll see and I'll call you back." And literally, she called me back. "Oh, Caroline, three-way conversation. This person." And the person ended up doing the thing I wanted to do. They want me to come and visit and see how their work is and the templates. I'm thinking, this on the same day. On the same day with the negativity of nearly £100,000. On the same day.
Wow. I love what you said. As soon as I made that decision, once I made that decision, the ideas started coming. And that is so deep, because I was speaking to, a lady we both know, Eden, this week, and I was speaking to her, and I said, you know what? Every decision comes with its own creative power.
Honestly.
Once you make a decision, there is power in a decision to create the next thing that you want.
Totally.
I love that, because you've just affirmed that.
The one thing I always say to everyone, and when I speak, people assume, who does she think I would assume they think so. Well, not that I really care, to be honest with you. I don't. But, sometimes I just think, if you can't change it, why stress about it? You can't change a situation, then you're stressing about it. Why? Why are you stressing about it? And I read one of the pastors I follow so closely, we call him KK, he's in Nigeria, and Korede Moyo or something, his name, I'm not pronouncing his name properly, but and he said your world is formed in your mind.
Yes.
Your world is formed in your mind. Literally, the mind forms your world. So what is it you want? It's forming here. So you decide how you want your world to be. It's in here.
Yeah, you create it we're co-creators with God. We're co-creators. When God said, "Let us make man to be like us, be like God," we are co-creators with God.
And my relationship, when you have a relationship with God, He's never failed me yet. So if He's never failed you yet, why would He start now? Why? Why would He start now? I say, if He says that with Christians is one word. If you're not sure, when people make excuses, "Oh, I'm waiting to hear from God." Really? You'll be waiting a long time. However, what I say is, for Christians, is go until He says stop or wait.
Oh, wow.
If He says stop or wait, the answer is go. He gives you an idea. So let's be realistic. God, who gives you the idea? It's Him. It's not you. He gave you the idea. He knew this was going to happen before it happened. He knew this day was going to happen, right? He gave you the idea to say, "Caroline, on this day, you're going to meet Caroline on this platform, and you would listen on this day to Caroline's word." And that's God. It's not you. God made you tune in. It's not you. He gave you the idea of the podcast. And you decide. You have a choice to decide, "I don't want to interview Caroline." It's totally up to you. It's not up to God. But you choose to listen. You chose to listen to God. So that's the thing. It's like, if He hasn't said stop or wait, what are you waiting for? And then you say, "No, I'm waiting to hear from God." What are you waiting for? When He has given you the idea. And for me, everyone knows how God speaks to them. Everyone knows. The way He speaks to me is, He gives you an idea, run with it. Once the door starts to open, it's God. All of a sudden, He gives you the right connection. All of a sudden, you have the right phone number. All of a sudden, you speak to the person and the person want to help. All of a sudden, that's God. All of a sudden, you're finding discounts in the things you never thought you get discounts. Hold on. Why? And that's when it's the right timing. God doesn't waste it. He doesn't waste His speech. He literally tells you, go, wait, stop. He doesn't say, don't go because. No, He doesn't do that, because He's God. Why does He have to explain to you why you should wait?
Oh my God, my friend Brother is gonna love this podcast. Bragsy, this is a shout out to you, because she's gonna love it. She says this, what you're saying, all the time. She says, when I'm moving, God is moving to us. As me and God are moving together. Unless I hear stop.
Exactly. Let me No, but
She always,
honestly,
that's when people sit down and say they're saying, "Oh, but I don't know what God is saying about this. I'm waiting to hear." What are you waiting to hear from? God has spoken. You're the one stopping.
you know what? If I honestly, my head, if you open my head, if you know how many business ideas my head is, it's like, for me to remain sane, and I'm being honest, I had to get a consultant who is on a retainer with me, and I just download, and she makes these things happen. Literally, okay,
Wow.
Caroline, we're working on this now. All right, so if I said I wanted to do a call, like obviously I didn't tell her about your course because she's like, no, Caroline, you know. But if I told her like I wanted to do an online course or something I wanted to set up my own online course or something like that, she'll put dates to it, put things to it of when we need to achieve it. Because whilst I'm thinking that, I'm thinking of opening 2 other nurseries, I'm thinking of running a new kitchen, I'm thinking of at the same time. No,
I just love you, Caroline. It's like
at the same time. Not when one is finished though. No, at the same time.
oh my gosh.
I've got 5, 6 different projects at the same time. So I'm thinking, Caroline, for you to remain sane. Originally, I used to think, but this is not right. You can't be normal. And then I realized that's a trait of an entrepreneur. Like literally,
you're a serial entrepreneur.
All right, Caroline, come on. All right, let's get someone on a retainer that can make things happen. And literally, if I told you how many projects we have going, so for me to be saying, she like, okay, this is what we're talking about. So we have a one-to-one weekly, obviously at the moment by Zoom, and we literally do a roadmap of how we get in there, how long it'll take to get there, and that includes my online courses, that includes simple things like webinars, that literally nursery, name it.
Your entire, I love that. And I love, so this is a note here for people who are like you, like visionaries. A lot of times, you know,
Crazy.
I'm a little bit like that as well, but I have a lot on the go. But a lot of times we get handicapped because we feel we have to do everything. You think that you're the one that will get the idea. You're the one that will also go and sit down and do the online course. You're the one that will sit down and do the charity thing. And you become a bottleneck. You become a bottleneck because how much capacity do you have as a human being? You don't have that much. But if you would do what Caroline is doing and say, you know what, let me make it another person's job to implement. Your job is to implement. As I'm talking, you are the one that is creating the strategy. You're the one that is thinking about executing, because execution is not my foremost strength. That's what you're saying. You're getting somebody else who will execute these things for you. So that, and the more you do that, guess what? The more ideas will be coming to you, because God now says, I can trust this. Hey, Caroline, come and see my daughter Caroline. Can you see all the things that she's doing with the ideas? Come, give her 4 more. Give her 10 more.
But honestly though, you are right, and that's really worked. I mean, I've had this new person over just nearly 2 years, and before that I had somebody else for a year, you know, and literally I just knew I'm a much better person for it. I'm a version of the real Caroline there is to be. I know they've got my best interest at heart. I can be a real mom, a real wife, I can be a good employer, literally, because they get the best of me. Rather than, I've been pulled here. And literally, again, it's that thing of like re-evaluating and rethinking even the strategies we have in place, the plans we have in place, even the ones she's not aware of, like when I did the course and there's something else I'm doing. Because sometimes I still feel she's too slow for me.
Oh my God, Caroline.
I hope she listens to this, but I tell you, it's like I'm building like an app at the moment. She doesn't know.
She doesn't know. So this is an exclusive.
The app is supposed to be over £12,000, and she doesn't know about it. Because you think for a project like that, she should know, but
I just love you. Oh my God, you're too much. You're still going to do your own. Okay, just do the one that you know about. I'll still do some on the low. When you're not on Instagram, she'll be like,
No, but what I tend to do is like for respect, you know, when we were busy, I just thought I should try. And that's how I announced it to her. And it worked.
I love it. I love your can-do spirit.
just
I love the fact that in fact, I love the fact that you're not thinking, you know what, after all, I've got 13 childcare settings. Is that not enough? You know, I want to hear about what pushes you. And I want to freeze that question because I really want to hear about what pushes you. And we're going to answer that question. But before that, I know that there's some listeners that are good. They love stories. They're like, but she was telling a story. We haven't finished that story. So you're talking about, you've got a flat, you got a bed sits from the council. So what next? Because I want to understand, how do you go from that Caroline, who is a squatter, who stays in a hostel? How did you transition to who I'm speaking to today? How did that happen?
So I always say to people, and I mean, and I am serious about this. I always say to people that whatever your hand finds to do it. And even though I've learned to be a typist and I always go for exams or whatever, and I never got any job, I became a cleaner as well. So I worked as a day cleaner. So like a day cleaner in an office. So
how old were you?
I was about 18, 19 at the time. So I worked as a day cleaner, and which meant during the day you're cleaning with. If you spill something in the office, I'll be the one who come and clean it. And I did that for a little while, and all of a sudden they had a position came up within the company. So this company is called Aon Group, which is the largest insurance company.
It's a large company
in the world. So they at the time they wanted a filing clerk. So, and because I've learned to do typing and I go for all these interviews that I was not doing, but I still go. You know, again, they asked for a filing clerk. Not that I knew what a filing clerk was, but I just left my CV on the desk.
You left your CV as you were a cleaner, but you left your CV on the. Wow. So were you going to look online to see what jobs they have available, or were they talking about it?
They were talking about it. About it, and I saw it and I just left my CV on the desk, the HR's desk, just like that, because it was, you know, those open plan offices.
Yes.
But it didn't matter if it's open plan or not. You can get to anyone's office. It's not like it's
when you're clean. Yeah.
And I left it on the desk, and they saw it and called. So at the time, even though my name is Moyebat Kikelomo Caroline Popoola, but at the time I made up a name, Grace Rowland, and they I know, such a long story, ridiculous. They literally called this person called Grace Rowland to come for the interview because it's just a fine.
Probably thinking it's an Oyibo person.
Exactly. I mean, Grace Rowland's English, right? She's, you know, so. And then I showed up. And then, oh, Caroline, I said, yeah. I said, oh, that's just my middle name, you know. And oh, okay. Yeah, so, and that was it. They said, oh, we know you because you're very good with what you do. It's only a filing clerk we need. You got the job. No interview needed.
Wow.
No interview needed because I had already proven myself as a cleaner.
Wow.
To be a fine clerk is not a degree, is it? To be honest, I mean, to be a secretary is not really a degree. I just wasn't good enough at the time. And that was it. And within 3 months in the department, another vacancy came up. And you know, naturally, for good companies, you advertise in-house, you take it out. So they advertised in-house, and I applied and I got it. And that literally for 2.5 years, I was in that company and became an insurance underwriter within that company.
Stop. What?
Cleaner. From being a cleaner to an insurance underwriter within that company. And it was only when...
With no degree?
Zero.
Oh my God. And my mouth is literally open. Like, I'm just like, what? Amazing.
Within the same company.
So there is something to be said about just hard work, diligence, applying yourself, you know, building relationships.
That's it.
Wow.
And that's it. So that's why I say to people, whatever your hand finds to do it. Don't make it sound like, oh, this is beneath me, this is not me. Because you don't know what God has got on that side for you. That is your oyster. That is your oyster. But you then decide to, no, that's not me. That's not me. I couldn't do that.
I'm blown away. Like, just blown away. Go on, tell us. Just keep talking. Just keep talking, Caroline. Just keep talking. Hey, so interrupting the podcast really quickly to bring you a short message from our sponsors. So one of the things I get the most amount of compliments from is actually my hair. Everywhere I go, people are like, hey, Tonbra, is this your hair? It looks so healthy. So I thought today I will tell you my secret, what I do to make my hair look and remain so healthy. And my secret plug is actually products from the Healthy Hair Studio by Anytime. One of such is a Mighty moisturizer, and it is so incredible. They've got store kits all around the world, but if you are listening to this podcast, you get a discount. So go on to www.healthyhairstudio.co.uk/CFM10 to snag some of the products. All the products are great, so I know you will not go wrong. So if you want great, nice, healthy hair, go with products from the Healthy Hair Studio by Anytime. See you soon.
At the time, I was in the city. You had very few black people and all that stuff. And then we had a new director came into the department. It's a big company, very big. I mean, at the time, we had over 6 floors where I was working. So every department had its own director and stuff. So we had a new director, and he was so lovely and he just said, oh, Caroline, so where do you think you see yourself going from here? And I'm like, I don't know. She said, oh, do you know it's who you know and not what you know? I assumed that's just in Nigeria. Or see, I tell you, being naive it's noise. You're just literally I want to say the swear word there, but honestly, I actually assume this is an African thing. This is a world thing, babes. It is a world thing, not an African thing. Because at the time, I was 19, going on 20. He said it's who you know, not what you know. He said, and I don't think there's anywhere else within this department that you can go. Literally, they don't need to say very much. It just means your face don't fit no more.
Wow.
It means your face don't fit no more.
Wow, the color of your skin, you can't.
Your face don't fit.
You can't.
Yeah, your face don't fit. But the arrogant and crazy girl that I am, I'm like, big deal. All right, let's start looking for another job. And literally within weeks, I found somewhere else, and they trained me with my insurance exams and everything, so I did all that. And I worked at Lloyd's of London, as an insurance writer and so on. So I did lots of different types of insurance, which was really good at the time. And then I was made redundant from another company I went to. And again, the whole thing around racism, I think as humans, I think you choose to turn a blind eye and be better. Choose to be the best version of yourself all the time. And I think looking back now, even though at the time I didn't understand racism, choose not to understand racism because I don't want to be negative. I don't want to be bitter. That doesn't reflect the person that you are, the person God has made you. You need to prove to everyone else that I am a better version of what you think I am. I am not that person that you think, that black thing that don't know very much. No, I am not that. That's your interpretation of what is in your head. That's not who God has called me to be. Even though at the time I wasn't a Christian, I just had this this thing from nowhere that I just know that I am better than all these other things they called me to. Even the fact that I failed, even the fact that I wasn't doing very much, I wasn't brilliant. I just knew there was something about me, but I couldn't put my finger on it.
Wow.
And I feel we as human beings, we need to carry ourselves with high esteem all the time. You need to constantly, no one's going to motivate you. You need to motivate yourself. You need to find your own joy yourself, your own happiness yourself. If you're waiting for other people to validate you, hey, it's an error. You're in for a fall. If you're waiting for others to validate you, to tell you what they think about you, you're in for a fall. Because when they're saying it to your face, that your face does not fit anymore, or is it the other company I went to, where the manager left, and before the manager left, I was the go-to person to solve challenges. Like in the whole department, we have a department of 8 people. I wasn't the smartest, I was the youngest, but I was the go-to person. I made time for everyone and sat with them, bring that file. The file will be as thick as that. And I will go through with a fine-tooth comb and make everything better for them. And I had this crazy negotiation skills that I would just clients, and the clients would be like, oh, all right, that's fine. Oh, we like it when Caroline deals with our work, And the manager left. The second person that was meant to be we had nobody. We had
nobody else to step up.
And I went in to say I wanted to do the job. And they said no, the job was not available. However, they can give me a deputy. And the person that was like crap, they made her the manager because of the skin color.
Because her face fit.
And I just said, that's fine. I've overstayed my welcome. And I was never I was one of them people. I had a job. I could get jobs so easily because I just knew I knew how to blab, basically. I didn't think I was smart. So, and I got another job. But with that, after 9 months, I was made redundant, and that was the end of sort of like the story within the city. By 2002, I was made redundant, and it's like, okay, what can I do after that? And I thought, oh yeah, I'm looking for, I don't want to work. So at this time I was married. I'd been married 2 years, but no children. I said to my husband, I've been made redundant. And he's gone, oh, but you always hated working anyway. You always wanted more. Every 6 months you get bored. And I was always bored. But I thought to look good at my CV, I'll stay 9 months. I'll stay a year and a half.
Oh my goodness. I love this. You're speaking to something here. There are a lot of people who have they're natural entrepreneurs, I think. And they go into jobs, and I'm like that. Every time I'm in a work environment, I say to my husband, I feel like a square peg in a round hole. I don't fit here. And it's not because I can't do the job. I've been in project management for years, but it's not me. I get bored after a while. It's just not me. So it's speaking to you that most people, when you have that thing in your heart that just feels discontent when you're in a particular setting, it's speaking to a deeper side of you wants to come out, wants to be unveiled, because it's like you're more than this.
I couldn't put my finger on it. I couldn't put my finger on it. But I knew I got bored so easily. I'm like, oh God, I'm bored again. And I'm thinking, what's wrong with you? Why are you always bored? And it's always like, Caroline, what is wrong with you? So I'm so like having a go at me without knowing this is what God has called you to be. And I'm thinking, why are you always bored? So when they made me redundant, I cried because the money wasn't going to come in. Not because I'm like, hooray, that job I was bored anyway. But it was like, oh, no money was going to come in. And I said to my husband, and he's going, yeah, you always get bored every time. Why don't you just start a business? I'm thinking, what? A business? What? And I went to God. I'm thinking, he doesn't get it. This man don't get it. Literally, like proper crying, like really crying. No, he doesn't get it. What does it mean start a business? Where do I start from? Literally. And it was that. And then he's gone, oh, I'll look after the house for the next 2 years or something, try and find something else to do. And I'm like, all right then. But it wasn't that easy or right. So I went back to the company I worked for, and that was before that, and they made me work from home. So, and literally I was getting more than I was getting even traveling to the city. And
work from home pre-COVID days. You've been at this game long time.
I know. So, and at the time as well, I found out I was pregnant. Fortunately, I was pregnant. So, and I had, when you say morning sickness, I had day sickness. Literally the whole shift, I was sick every time. Literally, it wasn't morning; it was the whole day sickness. So it just worked out fine that I was working from home, and literally the work I would have for a week, I'll do in 3 days, and I had 2 days to retrain. And at the time I thought, oh yeah, childcare, yeah, what can I do? Oh yeah, I could do childcare and I wouldn't have to work. I just get people to do anything I want them to do. But I didn't have any children. I'm thinking, so and that was it. I mean, even the whole idea of childcare is a different story altogether, like how I heard that he is childcare. I'm thinking, what? Are you all right? Jesus, are you sure? Me, childcare, like, literally.
Have you ever been? Well, I see you now, and you're obviously very bubbly and childlike. But did you like children at the time? Obviously, you didn't have yours. Well, you were pregnant, but did you like children?
Let's make sure no parents listen.
Sorry, forget. Don't answer that.
No, my language was, I detest children.
Wow.
No, honestly, I said to God.
So this is obviously then, oh.
Yeah. I said to God, you can't love me. It's impossible. How could you love me? You say you fight with God. No, honestly, I said it's impossible. You can't love me. How could you love me? Honestly, we went to a church event. My church would normally have an event once a year.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to the event. And normally when you go to this event, you hear, you go with a different attitude, different intention. Jehovah, I wait to hear from you this year. I will hear before the end of this conference. All of that stuff. And so my friends and I, we sat down and we were listening. And a pastor called Mike Murdoch, he came to the church. And then he said, oh, if any of you, and this was just before I was made redundant, if any of you got £1,000 more than what you would normally get, would you give it to church? To me, it's like, and he explained it to me. I'm thinking, yeah, it's natural. Like, I understand the whole thing around giving. But he's saying, and I told my friend, I said, did you not get it? So at the time I earned 1,900 a month. So he's saying to me, logically, if you get 2,900, somehow you give that extra to God. I'm like, yeah, I'll give it. I understand giving, give and you receive. Good measures, press down. It's literally very easy. I'll give. It's the money I wasn't expecting. Why would I not give? Guess what?
What?
By the 2nd of September, I was made redundant and I got £8,000.
Wow.
This was in August, like August 26, 27. 2nd of September, I was made redundant and I got £8,000.
Wow.
Within days, 5 days of when he made that prophecy, and I got up and he prayed. I didn't go to the front, I sat down at the back at normal, like any normal person. And I was made redundant, got £8,000. I didn't tell my husband I made a vow because I didn't think it was going to come to pass. So I was like, and that was it. So it was when I was made redundant and they gave me the vow. I'm like,
there is now decision time.
I said, hey, babes, you remember when my father was... so... and that was even it was at that meeting, he said childcare. So I came out laughing with all my friends. Can you imagine? God said childcare. Can you imagine that? And my friends like, yeah, we can't even give you a child to look after. I said, I know, right? Yeah. He's got sense of humor galore. It's like, oh yeah. And then I go, I'm thinking, you're having a laugh, God. You're having a laugh. And then my friend called and said, oh, when I was made redundant, oh, let's do this. I'm thinking, no. And I said, I can't do it. And then we talked about it. And I set up, I was saying to someone 2 weeks ago, we had 2 receptions. And I changed one of them into like a mini nursery kind of thing. And then I advertised and I was going for night courses, weekend courses in childcare and things like that, just little courses. And then, but this time I was pregnant as well. And then I had a parent called and said, oh, she wants to come and view. It was in the summer and her child was starting in September. And the child had ADHD, which is a behavioral, And then they came and I was like, let's say his name is Luke. I'm like, hi Luke. Hey Luke, how are you? Don't touch that. So somebody with ADHD that is like, oh, you have to be a bit firm. I'm thinking, okay. I just 11. Me, I'm not cut out for this thing.
Oh my God, this is so entertaining.
The first child that came to view was one with ADHD. And can you imagine someone that don't love children? Like, are you sure I heard you right? Because you can't be me and children. Why? So I literally called the woman and said, like, just before when she called back, oh, when can we start? I said, I'm pregnant. My doctor said I can't.
You don't do what you don't want.
My doctor, blame it on my doctor. Well, to me, that childcare thing was a no. I didn't do it at home. I did not do it.
Oh, wow.
And then all of a sudden, the wheel turned. I went away on holiday to Nigeria, came back, and I got an email. Literally, the long story, the school called me to come and start. I called my neighbor. That had 3 children. Guess what? This school wants me to come and do this. Come on, let's go and do it. And literally, we went, and that's how we started.
Wow.
In 2000. That's how with my neighbor. She's still my neighbor now.
And that's how we started. What did you start? Just working in the school?
No, we started a breakfast and after school club.
Oh, wow.
That's how my first business started. Started a breakfast and after school club, just like that. With no experience. They said you need to register to Ofsted. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's fine. Looked at it, Googled, filled out the form. They came out, interviewed me. I blabbed as always. And again, going back to what I said, I always go for the things that I can't do, that I've never done before, but I'm going to try it anyway. I'd rather try and fail than not try at all. I don't have children. I was pregnant, but I didn't have children. I've never done it. I was still fighting God, saying, are you sure is Caroline Popoola like the one that lives
You're never afraid to step out on water. You were never afraid.
That was it. Even I've never employed anyone in my life. I spoke to my neighbor. Then she was going to leave within 6 months. We got somebody else in. We had 2 people. And then within 8 months, another school approached me. Oh, we hear you're doing something good here. Can you come and start in our school? And I'm thinking, oh yeah. And I went and I started. I'm thinking, never again. Managing people is the worst thing ever. I would never go to any school. This is it. I'm done. I'm not going to have any more. This too. That's it. And then other schools start to approach. And I'm thinking, Caroline, it's like they offer you money on the platter plate and you say you don't want it. Literally. That was my interpretation of people approaching you to start business and thinking, so they give you money like this. I said, no, I don't want your money.
I don't want it. Yeah.
Literally. So, and I started to, okay, how can I have a system? Because I can't be in 3-4 places at the same time. How can I have a system that is seamless and I don't have to be there and it just works? And that's how we started to build processes. And that was it. Build processes to having now, we have 15. Not even that, 15. We
15
didn't have
settings. 15 settings. Your bio says 13. You even have more.
Yeah, 15. We've opened 2 during COVID.
During COVID. When they say there's a casting down, you said there's a lifting up.
That's it.
Oh my goodness. I could stay here forever and just listen to you. When this is a masterclass. This is not just, this is a PhD class on just getting your life together and seeing possibilities where there are none. Oh my God. Actually, I told you people will be inspirational. You guys need to, this is like, this should be a Zoom webinar. Zoom webinar. Oh my goodness. And that's how you just went. And then you started. So when was the turn to nurseries itself? How did you go from?
That's it. We had 4 breakfast and after school club. And then do you know what? Everything in my life, I ascribe all greatness to God. And I feel so emotional now because I know I laugh a lot, but honestly, even how that happened, everything, Tonbra, has been a testimony from start to finish. That's why you can't have Caroline and not have God. You can't have God and not have Caroline. It's impossible. It really is impossible. I don't stress about things because I just hand it over to Him. I literally give God His words. The way He said it in the Bible, I give God His words. Just the way He said it. No other way. Wow. If God says you are good, why are you saying I'm not good? When the owner of the thing said it's good, and the owner of the thing saying I'm finished, but you're saying no, it's not finished. He said he that started a good work in you is faithful enough to bring it to completion. He started it. He will bring the good completion, not horrible completion. Remember what FD said. FD said that before you came, it has a purpose. If God fails, God has to answer to the world. If God fails, he has to answer to the world. That means he can't fail. So if you give him back his words, then what are we? When the people say the kids are, they stress me, I say, well, remember, God said they're a blessing. So God, the thing you give me, when you give them to me, you said they'll be a blessing. Hey, right now, the stress I'm going through doesn't look like a blessing. Can you sort it out, please? He'll give you peaceful that passes all understanding.
Give it back to God. Give it back to God.
His words, give him back. Exactly the way he said it. Exactly the way. Why you're adding to it? Contemplating and debating. That means you're adding to it. He said if you had faith as small as a mustard seed, 2 weeks ago, I said, have you realized the size of mustard seed? You mean if I was ill, that tiny thing? If I had the faith as small as that tiny thing, I'll be fine. We need to work on our faith. Be practical. God don't need like all these posh words. Oh, you are beautiful. Yes, he knows. Give him the way he said it. Too Christianese and we know, God is faithful, he's an awesome God. I understand that. But guess what? I don't feel like he's awesome right now. Doesn't feel like God is awesome right now. How do we sort it here? It's all in the head, all in the mind. I give him back his words just the way, hey, we've done an hour. Hey, Jehovah,
I'm telling you, I'm just like, Caroline, this episode is just shaking my head. I don't even want to stop you. I don't want to breathe. Maybe you'll now notice the time. I'm just like, as in somebody else came out. Oh, I've never seen you like him. Jesus. As in the power and the intensity that you're speaking, it's not you speaking. I can tell you it's not you speaking. Somebody's life is going to be set free. I know that for certain. Somebody is going to say, thank you, Jesus, because when I heard Caroline, my life realigned. So deep, so deep. I mean, this is somebody that started from nothing. Nothing.
I look back and my mom, bless her heart, she looks at me and she's so proud. And I'm like, I just look at her and think, oh, Mom, I love you. You know, yeah. So all the things you went through, he's prepared you for a time as this. You need to find it yourself. If you don't find it, then what's your purpose? And a year and a half ago, I had the worst fall that could have claimed my life. And so my life right now is like touching you. I have to touch people's life. I have to change lives. The best thing I've ever done in a year and a half is starting up the Caroline Popoola Foundation. If I start to tell you how many people, we don't broadcast it. We don't put it out. Oh, God is good. God is good. He is so good. He's so good.
So
God hasn't given up on us, so you can't give up on yourself. You cannot give up on yourself. It doesn't matter how many times you fall, you've got to get up. The way you can move on, you've got to get up. You've got to get up. It doesn't matter. And the simple thing I do is just humble myself. God, I say, okay, God, I know you said it. I humble myself before. If it's me that is arrogant and I'm not getting it, help me to help my own understanding of what you are saying, or where you're taking me to. Let me know. Let me know. Show me. Even if you don't show me, just give me that peace. Honestly, there's no point being all shouting and screaming with God. Wow, show God. That. Be honest. Just be honest with God. Honestly, that's all He wants. Why does it say if like when He's comparing us and children?
You have to be like a child. Yeah, you got to be like a child. So
what you say to them is what they take. don't debate your God. They don't say, but what about, are you sure? No. All I have to say, my children are 17, 14, and 12. If I say to you, do you trust mommy? I said, yes. I said, have I ever lied to you? No. That's all I do. So if I say I'll meet you at the back, means I will meet you at the back. Do you trust I will meet you at the back? That's all I need. And that's what God is saying. Do you trust me? That's it. If you trust me, if you say to your children, would I meet you outside of school at 3 o'clock? They say, yes, mommy, you would. They won't doubt it. So why are you doubting God? Because guess what? You'll be the one to drive there. You'll be the one to walk with them. So God is already there. Waiting for us to meet him in the same place. Because when your children come, they come and meet you. Because they trust you will be there. Because you have said you'll be there. So I tell you, I picture these things when I'm talking to God. I picture the word practically, like you're acting the words out. I picture it. And I literally, the same way I see in the picture, I drop it into my own life. That he said this here. And his words never change. So why would it come to my own case and his word will change? Why?
Oh my God, so powerful. This session has just been unbelievable. Thank you so much for bringing yourself, all of you, for just sharing in such a heartfelt way.
I hope you can get anything out of that.
No. I mean, we've just touched on so much, and I just want, we've touched on so much, and I know that people are going to get a lot out of today's show. I know that there are some lives that are already being transformed. I've said that before, but I feel a need to say it again. Somebody needs to listen to this episode over and over again, just to remind yourself that, you know what, that same God that did it for Caroline, that same God that does it for so many people, loves you too. It doesn't love Caroline more than you. It's not partial. It doesn't love me more than you. They are no grandchildren when it comes to God. Only children. And you are his child too.
You asked the question, and I know we're going to finish. You asked the question, you said, Caroline, how did you transition from the breakfast and after school club to nursery? You know, when your bestie, Bradley, when she talks about procrastination, she ate that word.
Yes.
Quietly, without her knowing her business. Literally, my church has this building. When we were younger, we would go to the church, and it was a children's church. It was like a Victorian house, 3 floors. You know those houses that have basement?
Yes, basement. Yeah.
So very massive. And one year, again, this same conference. Another year, so we started the childcare thing. I went to the conference, and the Holy Spirit said to me, "Speak to the church." No. Before the conference, the Holy Spirit said to me, "Speak to the church about this building to start a nursery, because the building was derelict."
Wow.
Guess what? Your friend will love this one. I'm like, I was arguing with the Holy Spirit. I was like, procrastinating. I'll do it later. Guess what? I went to the conference. Me and my friends sitting down drinking malt. And in between the preaching, they had an advert. Nursery starting soon. Number 3 Downey Road. I said,
no way.
See your life. Procrastination.
In the same building.
I said, Karen, see your life. See your life. Procrastination. See, that thing will kill you. See? I said to my friends, what is wrong with you guys? When I share something with you, why did you tell me to push?
Why did you tell me to push? Roxy, we love this.
Honestly. And I'm like, I was so depressed. I was so angry. So, in December of the same year, this was August. In December of the same year, The Holy Spirit is that Caroline approach these people about the past, and I started to argue with him again.
Is it occupied?
Hey now, no, it says nursery starting soon.
Okay, they didn't say it has started. Okay.
The Holy Spirit say approach them again. I'm like, but they already said it started. Which one is this? Approach them again. They said approach them again. I'm like, okay, if I have to, I'll go and embarrass myself. So I called them smartly and I said, oh, hi guys, and I know them well because the nursery is starting. Is it run by you guys? And I can come and help you run it, like yeah, I can come and help you run it, It's like, yeah, and we share the profit and all that. And the next thing is that, the person that was gonna run it decided they're not running it anymore.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow.
See God. See God. When I say my life is the testimony,
And just from there, 1, 2. And the thing is that you just keep building. You just keep building. You just keep going. Just keep going.
My life is a true testimony. It really is a true testimony. It really is a true testimony. It takes all the glory all the time. It takes all the glory all the time, honestly.
But I think there is something to be said also about you running with it. Because God won't work with somebody who is a bottleneck, who sits down on the advice, who continues to say, you know what, I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting. You've got your instruction, but you wait.
You know what? By the December, I approached them. They said, no. The January, I said, you don't know me. You know me as Caroline, the church person that grew up in the church. You don't know me as Caroline, the businesswoman. Anyway, cut the long story short. I did a presentation and they liked it. And the May we started. When I got the builder in, I'm being honest with you, £10,000 cash. The builder said he's going to charge £80,000.
80.
80, and I had 10.
Wow.
And he said he's charged 80. I said, yeah, that's fine, don't worry. I'm not even joking.
In your same hopeful manner. That's fine.
And he turned around and he said, okay. I said, yeah. So when can we break ground? I said, we want to go 4 months because there has to be a change because the owner of the building will take it, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what? The way God did it, one day say, can I have 2,000 please? Can I have 1,000 please? Can I have 3,000 please? And some days I'll pretend I forget because I don't have it. So I'll wait like 3 days or 4 days, but they still carried on working. That's how we paid 80,000.
Wait, let me understand this. At the time you told him, okay, go ahead, 10, you did not have 80,000. You had 10,000.
And I did not.
Or you just believed that that before this man will finish, you will get 80,000 naira to pay him in full. You just knew somehow.
I don't even know how. Not somehow. I didn't know how.
Jesus.
And the reason I wanted to highlight that is for people that say, until the money is complete, I can't start the business. Really. It's because you're not ready. The money will never be complete. I'm not even, what's that thing you say in Nigeria?
I'm not cursing for you.
Honestly, I'm not even, it would never be complete. God honors you starting. That's the one he backs. He backs the one that starts, that moves. That's the people he will back up. Same thing with my second nursery, which is my biggest one, 81 space. This one I was talking about is 56 space nursery. This one is 81 space nursery. They gave me a bill. Are you ready for this? 116,000. 116,000 to refurbish this big space. And even when I took it to my solicitor, he's going, Caroline, hold on a minute. Are you building a house? I said, no. I said, is it too much? Literally, like, what do I know? Me? What do I know? He said, is it? I said, The man didn't beat it down. And true. This, are you sure you have time? True and true. Maybe you should cut this into 2 parts.
Continue. Don't worry. Continue dropping the nuggets, please. Don't worry about
116,000.
Yeah.
At the time, I only parked my car outside my nursery because there's the building I would normally go into to print my flyers and things like that. And I sat down outside the car. Don't ask me what I was thinking. I just, when you sit down and you just sit down like this, you have a bit of peace. And I had my face facing the nursery, my nursery now, but it wasn't a nursery. It was just a shop front. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, that's a point. Why I'm saying that's a point, I don't know. But I was shouting out, that's a point. Like, on my head is saying, you can do a nursery here. And that's a point. And I went to quickly go out of the car and ran to the person that's printing. I said, oh, by the way, you know that building there? Is that the council are looking for people to take it? Nobody ever stays because no traffic, like no walking. So it's going to be a quiet business. It couldn't be like a hairdresser because they all gave up. News agent, they all gave up because it's not busy.
It's not busy.
Anyway, I got in, I called the person immediately and they said, we'll see you tomorrow. And anyway, the long story short, I wanted 2, they gave me 3. He said, I'll give you more discount, take all 4. So we have 4 shops, knocked it all together. They gave me 116,000. And true, I had 60,000 pounds cash in my account. 60 in the business account, none in my own account. My own account will be red. So, 60,000 pounds in the business account. And they were dragging. Doing anything with the council takes forever. So after a while, it's gone on for like 6-8 months. I'm thinking, what is it that is taking so long? I called the council. We haven't decided. So I just got upset one April. And I said to my bank manager, right, that's it. I'm done. I'm going on holiday when I get back. I'm just going to use the money. We'll buy 2 flats. And then they just went at 60,000 with flats in London, really. Probably you buy one hole somewhere. Literally. And the woman is a Nigerian, but she was the bank manager at the time. She put her head through the door and said, Mrs. Poopola, can I just point out, please don't make any decisions while you're upset. And I'm like, oh yeah. And I left. So I got home, I said, babes, that's it. I'm not doing that nursery anymore. What's the point? The council's taking 8 months. This is just ridiculous. And my husband's very quiet. He's like, yeah, whatever you say, baby. So we went away, so that staycation in England, Canterbury. And then, whilst we're there, within 2 days, the Holy Spirit worked on me. And I apologized to the Holy Spirit. As always, I say, I'm so sorry. Okay, I changed my mind. Because it's like, how many flats can you buy when you're making over 100, 200,000 a year? But you buy a house, you make £200 every month. But if you had the nursery, so I'm like, okay. So I went back to my husband. Babe, remember I said, okay, I changed my mind. So I went back to my bank manager and said, I do apologize. But this time I'm trying to negotiate a loan. That's why I'm bank manager, but they haven't given me a loan. So I'm trying to negotiate loan. And then they gave me a loan of 30,000. My friends said, Caroline, they give me loans. So quickly, I went online within 1 minute. They transferred the money to my account. The thing took longer. Guess what? I spent every 30,000, every single of that money. I am not joking. Every single penny of that 30,000 I spent on. We're doing this today. We're paying staff wages tomorrow because the council hadn't said yes. The council had not. They were taking longer. I spent every penny of the £30,000 loan I got. So I now have a debt of 30,000 that I was paying on my personal name. That I've spent with businesses, not building the nursery.
Not building the nursery that they get. You got the wow.
That's paying other things and family problem. I do. And as soon as I finished spending it, the only thing is, so you finish, right? Okay. I said, God, I've had enough. He said, who is giving up? The council hasn't said no. Planning hasn't said no. And you are the one giving up. So which power do you have? Literally, just brought me back to my knees. December 23rd, they said, come and pick up your keys. Remember, I've finished spending 30,000. I have my 60,000 pounds left again.
And they're not saying, we're done. Come and pick up your keys. Where's our balance? Where's our money?
No, so the builder now, I have to pay him 116,000.
116,000. Okay, it's the council that says come and collect your keys. Okay.
And I finished the 30,000 pounds loan I thought I was going to use for this building that I haven't.
That is still even not enough. Oh, that is still not complete. Oh,
and I finished spending. And I had the 60,000 left again.
Wow.
But now that I've finished spending, they said, did I not do the other one? Why do you want to help me? Why are you helping me? Did I not do? Did you have the 80,000 you used at the other end? So now you're helping me.
So that help is you going to get that loan. Just that same 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes, where they were just cutting the bread and the fish, and it just kept going round. That's what the miracle that God wanted to do with you.
Exactly. So I ended up having just the 60,000 again, and then the builder gave me the schedule of work. I said, oh, week one I'll get 25,000. Month 2 I'll get 25,000. I said, in a month and a half the money is finished. Where will we get? So I called my accountant and said, oh yeah, go and explain to them how we're gonna pay, because you know how the money comes. Yeah, go and sit down and explain. We can't pay 25. How much do we have left? You know. So I said, and if it takes it within 2 months, the building is gonna take 4 or 5 months. How are we gonna pay for the rest? Do you know what? The builder took the first 15, we cut it from 25 to 15. Within 5 months, we paid 125,000 pounds to the builder. The reason being, the extra, he built up a wall, and I'm such a perfectionist. I told him to pull it down.
Oh wow!
Because I'm such a perfectionist. Oh no, I don't like it. I don't like it. And he put it down. That's why there was extra. And within 5 months, we paid him 125,000. Don't ask me where. Not a single loan. From 60,000 in the bank, not a single loan. And we paid 125. Don't ask me how. 200 today, 5,000 tomorrow, 100. That's how we paid 125,000. I am bringing this up because I want people to don't procrastinate. Don't say because you don't have the money, you're not doing the business. Don't say that.
Yes, don't say that.
It winds me up when people do that. Oh, I don't have the money. I didn't have the money.
Wow, amazing.
I did not have the money. Or somehow God provided.
Wow.
So many. Buying one of the nurses was 1.2 million. We had to put down 330,000 pound cash. At the time, we had 124,000. Somehow, don't ask me how. I don't know. We remortgaged part of our house, and the rest completed somehow. Because customers will pay this today. Somebody that was owing will pay tomorrow. That we were not expecting, and we never thought would pay. And we put down 330,000 pounds in cash. So when people, I don't know. Honestly, no excuses. None whatsoever. That I don't wait. If they say something is going to cost me something, let's start. Let's see who's going to give up first. It's definitely going to be me. And I know God don't give up. God don't give up. And I ain't giving up. So if I ain't giving up, God don't give up. So no one's giving up.
Oh my God, I love that. So let's see who's going to give up first. It certainly won't be me.
Like me, you know, and God never gives up. That one I know. That's it.
Oh my goodness, what a worthwhile near on hour and a half. Amazing.
When you said 45 minutes, I'm thinking, oh yeah, would I have enough to say in 45 minutes?
Oh, you spoke. Gosh, amazing, riveting, enlightening, life rearranging, encouraging, inspirational, motivational, just everything wrapped on business school or theology school or everything all wrapped on all wrapped up in here. Thank you so much, Caroline. This has been such a blessing. We are so grateful to you, and we just pray for more for you. Like, you just keep going. You just keep going. I can't stop saying that. Like, someone will say, you have all this already. You have the foundation. You have the. What more are you doing? Why are you still doing more? People will ask that question. What is that thing that you're still striving for? Can't you be content? After all, it's enough now. What is it that you're still going for? I want you to answer them.
That's where you have the sort of people you have around you, isn't it? Really. So you don't. I remember one of my coaches said to me at the beginning of the year, like, when we've done our goals and all that stuff. So he came on. So I have a quarterly session with him, and he said, "Oh, Caroline, so this year, who are the people that are not coming into 2021 with you?"
Wow.
And then I'm thinking, I don't have them. He said, no, you don't understand the question. I said, I get it, but you can ask me again if you want. And he's gone, which, like, there's certain things you want to get rid of that will not come into 2021 with you. Who are the friends? I said, I don't have them. He said, what do you mean? I said, because I don't entertain people like that around me. No, and he couldn't believe it. He could not believe it. I don't. Honestly, I don't. I don't. There's no space for you. No space. I don't entertain people. Hence, you can't tell me where are you stopping? What do you mean, where am I stopping? Am I alive? If I'm alive, why am I stopping? No,
I love it.
Like, excuse me. Like, why?
I love it.
You don't realize that when they say people retire, then they depreciate.
But you know, I love it.
I was not like, please, honestly, why?
I was having a conversation with my friend yesterday, and we're talking about, you said the worst question anybody can ever ask is, when are you retiring? Now, why would somebody ask you that question? That person hates you. That person doesn't mean you well. Now, what is retirement?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Honestly, why would you ask me that? Why don't you ask me, what more have I got to do? What are the things you want to do? Why are you asking me the other question? Why is that? When I had this agent that will say, do you want to sell your nursery? I emailed them, say, why don't you ask me, do I want to buy? Why are you asking me if I want to sell? Send me an email, say, do you want to buy a nursery? They say, are you interested? I said, yes, send the email, and then I'll decide if I want to, but don't ask me if I want to sell. And from then on, all the emails I get is like, do you want to buy? And I see so many failures. Okay, I can see you guys. Honestly. So what do you see? What do you see? What's your interpretation? If you ask me when am I stopping? Stopping what? I haven't even started. Like, hello?
Hello.
I don't entertain people. Yeah, so the answer is like, I don't know, dear. What am I stopping? I haven't even started yet. If you know the things in my head is like ridiculous. My head is like exploding with ideas. Like crazy ideas. Like I'm like, Caroline,
Oh my God, this is amazing. Amazing.
His goodness. He's the loving God. He is
indeed. God bless you
all the time.
God bless you. This is amazing. I know that there are little Carolines who are listening to this who are just going to just take that button and just run. Say, yeah, she has commissioned us. Consider yourself commissioned. Thank you so much, Caroline. May God bless you. And thank you for coming to this podcast. And we can't wait to see all the more great things that you're going to continue to do for the body of Christ and for the world in general. God bless you. Thank you so much.